Here at Wood TV8, it's debate week in Michigan. Tomorrow night, the Democratic candidates for U.S. Senate will be in our studio. And on Thursday, the Republican candidates for governor will be here. Wood TV political reporter Rick Albin will moderate both debates. He joins us now live in the studio with a preview. Rick, first off, let's just talk about the big shakeup this week, the change with Mallory McMorrow dropping out of the race. Were you surprised? Just give us your reaction to that, and how does that impact the primary?
Yeah, well, I think it's a really big move. And yes, I was a little bit surprised by it. There had been some conversation a couple of weeks ago during an interview on CNN, but I didn't take it completely seriously. And then we started looking at some numbers. And as those numbers were coming in, it appeared in one of the polls that was a little bit questionable that those numbers had slipped pretty dramatically for McMorrow. And then a second poll that I looked at today kind of corroborated those first numbers. So it looked as though something had fallen away from her campaign. She had been up in the 20% range for a while, but those numbers had slipped back. So haven't spoken to her directly, have talked to some people involved with the campaign, and it really came down to not having enough room between the other two candidates, between El Sayed and between Haley Stevens, to get enough numbers to make that work. And so consequently, she pulled out of the race. So now you end up with this race between Haley Stevens, sitting congressperson, and Dr. El Sayed, who ran for governor, as you may recall, 8 years ago. And so now these two will go head-to-head right where I'm standing in this studio tomorrow night to talk about the important issues that will be facing the next United States Senator from Michigan. Remembering that the Republicans do not have a primary, that Mike Rogers, who was their candidate 2 years ago and came very close to winning that open U.S. Senate seat, is unopposed in the primary. So the decision will be made in August which one of these two Democrats will face Rogers, and our debate tomorrow night will be one of the best and only opportunities to see them side by side, not just side by side, but it's going to be statewide. So you'll be able to see this from virtually any place in the state of Michigan. And Amber, as you know, you've been working closely with getting viewer questions. So that will be an important part of what we're doing, not just questions that we know by looking at the numbers, what are important issues, but what actual viewers told us they wanted us to ask, and you'll be presenting those questions.
Absolutely, Rick. And again, this race is being watched closely across the country. Just talk a little bit more about the significance of this U.S. Senate seat.
I think that this is probably the most watched Senate seat, and here's why. Because you've got Rogers, who I pointed out came within just a fraction of percentages to win that race 2 years ago. And you've got these two Democrats who are both been out, they have been out and been campaigning tirelessly. Both Republicans and Democrats, the party structures, have said this is important. This could be for control of the U.S. Senate. And I don't think that overstates the question. It really could be. So this is one that both nationally, Republicans and Democrats are keeping a close eye on. But that doesn't mean just a close eye. They're investing heavily in this race. And so this debate tomorrow night will have a big impact on who becomes the Democratic nominee. And whoever that nominee is going to be tasked with trying to hold this Democratic Senate seat. Remember, a Republican hasn't won a U.S. Senate race in Michigan since 1994. And Republicans are really anxious to change that trajectory. Democrats, of course, want to keep that streak going. So we'll continue to watch this, but this is going to be, it very likely could be the race that decides who's control the Senate, who will control the Senate in January of next year.
Rick, yeah, just a really big week here. And after Tuesday, right? Thursday night, another big night, the race for governor.
Who would schedule two debates in 1 week? Well,
yeah.
The Republican candidates for governor will be here. There'll be three of those candidates, and that will be to see who goes up against the Democratic winner in that primary, which will also be in August. So as you saw, John James, Perry Johnson, Mike Cox, all will be in Thursday night, and we'll be talking to them about why they believe they are best qualified to take on the Democrats again in November. And I will tell you once again, I think both parties are looking very carefully at Michigan, saying that this may be some kind of an indicator as to where we're going to go when these races finally get settled and then we start getting into the general election, it's going to be another one of those races that gets lots of national attention. As we know, here in Michigan, we have had kind of a propensity to vote both ways, right? We elect Republicans, we elect Democrats, we switch, we go back and forth. And so what happens in Michigan will be somewhat instructive, particularly, and dare I say this, as we head into the next presidential cycle, which is just around the corner.
All right, Rick Albin. Hey, Rick, real quickly, have you ever had 2 debates in 1 week?
No, I don't think we have.
Okay.
And it sounded like such a good idea when I first put it together.
Well, you've been working really hard. We appreciate it. Rick Albin reporting for us. We'll see you tomorrow night, Rick. Thank you. Yeah, tomorrow night, Stevens and El Sayed will go head-to-head this week here on News 8. Debate night starts at 6:30 p.m. Rick Albin sits down with each candidate on Wood TV Plus at 7 o'clock. Wood TV and Wood TV Plus are your exclusive homes for the only debate before Democrats select their Senate nominee.